Good morning, boys and girls, or good afternoon from Germany. It is, market is open and it is CPI day, CPI Wednesday. We have a lot of volatility today, so let's start right away with the news, CPI, and see how it came out. Oh, this is the German page. I will show you the English one. So CPI was projected to be at 5% as a year-over-year value, and it came out at 4.9, so a little bit lower than expected, and this caused the market to spike upwards. We will look at it right away. And the monthly values were just in line with the 0.4%, and the same for the core CPI, which was projected to be at 0.4% and came out at 0.4%. The yearly number was 5.5% and came out as 5.5%. So everything almost like expected, but the yearly number of CPI was a little bit lower than expected. So no big fear that numbers were higher than the expectation. But everything like expected. Normally you would think that there shouldn't be any big movement, but the market made an explosion. Look at this. We made here more than 150 points to the upside. Look at this, from 13,250 points to 13,400 points. So we are struggling a little bit right here at the 13,400 level right now and are pulling to lower levels, but this is an up move of 1.1%. Not bad for the numbers being in line with expectations. So I reopened some shorts right here, therefore I started the live stream a little bit later. I was in an appointment, therefore I wasn't able to live stream during CPI numbers, but I was able to open a short position here at 13,402 points. The high point was 13,417 points. So let's see if I'm right that we will see a rejection from there. I guess that we will see a 100% reversal, so back to the breakout level here of 13,250, because the numbers were just in line. So this was nothing special at all, and whoa, this is a big sell-off. So lower lows, and we had at the market open, we had some dip buyers. Look at this. This was market open 3:30 p.m. my time or 9:30 a.m. Eastern time, and we were already selling back to the 9 EMA here. So the purple line is the 9 EMA, and you see the rejection from the psychological 13,400 points level here in Nasdaq Future. And right when the market opens, dip buyers step in and are buying market at the open. And this is just crazy, because this happens really often, that we see these dip buyers thinking that it's cheap now to buy in and pushing right above the previous high points here. 13,408.25 points was the previous high point, and there we push just 8 points higher. This was 13,417.75 points, and then there's the sell-off. So this happens really often. So a lot of stop losses will probably have been triggered here right at the 13,400 level, and now it's sold off. So back to VWAP here. Let's see if this is a smaller support now, or if we will sell back right away to the breakout level. So this should act as a smaller support if the bulls can resist here. Let's see if it's a smaller support, and if not, then probably the next target will be the breakout level right away. I've seen this pretty often on CPI day, because a lot of fools want to trade it and then their stop losses are triggered. Therefore it's sometimes nice just to wait for the first hour after the CPI news are in the market, and then right at market open, take the chance when the dip buyers step in to short it. That's pretty often that this happens. Let's see if it's a continuous downward trend now, and if we will see this 100% reversal. We can even retest the pre-market lows. Pre-market lows were also at a psychological level, 13,200 points. Here, look at this. This was 10 a.m. my time, so 2 hours after the European market had opened. And you see, this was when the European market opened at 9 a.m. and then we had the sell-off here in the first 2 trading hours until the market could stabilize. But this could also be an interesting target for today to be retested, and then we would have a 200 points trading range here. Let's see. So for now, VWAP is acting as a support. We are trading back above the 20 EMA level on a 5-minute time frame here. This would also be a nice level to take out some first profits, but because I want to swing trade it and hold for a longer time, it's a really nice entry here. Therefore, I would wait for lower lows to come here. As soon as we broke here the previous low points on this 5-minute time frame, it's looking more interesting for me. Even on a 15-minute time frame, you can see that this is a big selling pressure here. So yes, the 9 EMA and VWAP were tested. Therefore, some shorties are taking out their profits. That's just a normal behavior here. I would wait and see what happens in the closing of this 15-minute candle. So back to our market with ES future. So S&P 500 is doing almost the same. So let's just see outside regular trading hours as well. So there we see the same movement, but you see that we were already going to lower levels a little bit more. So if I would take this breakout here from the CPI news, then you see that we corrected already more than 50%. We were already below the 61.8% Fibonacci retracement. So yeah, more to come as well here. I believe that the ES will be a little bit weaker than the Nasdaq. Why? Look at the daily time frame. So here we weren't able to go above the previous high point. So we are still we were still 25 points below the previous high point, as you can see here, or 30 points. Previous high point was 4,206 points on May 1st. And today we just reached 4,173 points. And yeah, this is more weakness here in S&P 500 because of several banking stocks here in the S&P 500. We don't have in Nasdaq. And here if we go on a daily time frame, you see that we made new highs today. But we are still struggling, so we have to wait for the daily closing to see if we can manage to close above or if we will again close below. So this is a big level here where a lot of stop losses were sitting for sure, but as well the shorties will try to defend this level here, because you see this was a previous high point, this was a previous high point, and as well here on April 4th this was a high point at 13,350 points. So it will be interesting where we will close today and if the bears can defend their levels here, even if some were probably taken out of their short positions today here with some stop losses. Okay, that's for now. The interesting levels are still the same here. The previous lows 13,000 for Nasdaq. The low point here from today is the 9 EMA level, or yeah, near this level. 13,202 points was the low from today, and you see the 9 EMA level is sitting right above. The 20 EMA level also pretty near, so these could be two targets for today or for the closing of today. So mainly I would expect the market to be almost flat, like the CPI numbers were in line with expectations. But let's go and see the interest rate expectations. So this is also interesting because there was a big shift from my previous live stream from last week, because there we had the expectation that yes, 80 or 85% were expecting the interest rate to be at the same level in the next meeting in 35 days. But here you see still 87% are expecting the interest rate level to stay at 5.25%. But 13% are now not expecting lower interest rates, but instead higher interest rates. So one more step to the upside, 25 more basis points to 5.5%. So this is interesting because this is a big shift from lower interest rates to higher interest rates, even if still 87% are expecting the interest rates to stay there. And here no big change overall. So for the next two meetings, the expectation is still to be at 5.25%, but you already see here for July, so now we have 58% staying there and 36% for 5%, and then you see lower interest rate expectations for the year ending at 4.5%. So it's interesting to see that a lot of market participants still don't believe that this is the high point and are expecting now higher interest rate levels, but for the end of the year, lower interest rate levels. So yeah, it will be interesting to see the next 35 days until the next meeting. So tomorrow we will have even more inflation news. So we had CPI today, and tomorrow we will have PPI, Producer Price Index. And this is a number which will be important for the market, not so big like a CPI, but because it is before CPI, it will be important for the next CPI number. And therefore the market will look on PPI tomorrow, 1 hour before the market opens. And I will try to live stream this if I don't have any other date. Also, I have an appointment again at 2 p.m. tomorrow, so I will not be able to live stream it, but I will do a live stream for market open like today, so we can talk about PPI number as well. Let's see some commodities here. At first, the Forex, Euro, US dollar. It's really interesting to see because this gave a first signal here of what the market is expecting. So you see here daily time frames, and you see almost the same like with Nasdaq. We are still in a sideways trading phase, so no sign that we will break out to the upside or to the downside. So the low points were sitting here, 109.40 or 50. This was the low point today, yesterday, and the previous time here on May the 1st. So you see the levels are almost the same like in the stock index. And high point here sitting at 110.95 or almost 111 here at the high side. And yeah, today was the interesting thing. So I will go on a 5-minute time frame. And now you see, so because the inflation was lower than expected, Euro US dollar was rising. Why? Because there's less fear. And when fear is going out of the market, then there's less need for staying into US dollar cash. So there's an inflow back into the stock market and an outflow of US dollar cash. And this is what you can see here. But right away, here you see this is this is 3 p.m. my time, so 9 a.m. Eastern time. This is half an hour before the market opened. So here you could already see, look at this. This is a sign of weakness with 2 5-minute candles with big upside wicks here, and then a sell-off. So yeah, this is a big sign of weakness. So now we were back at the previous high point, so a smaller point of support here. But the same for Euro US dollar, like with the stock index. I'm expecting the Euro US dollar to go back to the breakout level, and look where the breakout level was. It was almost the low point of today. So this is some more sign of weakness here, because normally this is our first sign where the stock markets will go. Yeah, I'm looking at the strengths or the weakness of Euro US dollar, and then because this is the biggest forex pair here, I can take a first look on what the stock market will do in the next 30 or 45 minutes. So you see, this is a big sign of weakness. We are in a downtrend, and let's see if we already pulled back 50% here from the, let's see. Let's take this one as a breakout. So yeah, we already went back 50%. So this is a smaller support here, but we will probably soon trade lower. So it's interesting to watch today what will happen here. Same for our commodities. So let's go to crude oil. Look at this. What happened at 2:30 my time, 8:30 a.m. Eastern time, when the stock market went to the upside? The same for crude oil. Crude oil rose because everyone thought that the companies will do well and will need more crude oil. But then look at this, 3 p.m., 9 a.m. Eastern time, sell off in crude oil. The same like Euro US dollar. Why? And you see, we already went below the previous low points from pre-market. So why? Why is there this weakness in crude oil if everyone is expecting the stock market and the economy to do well? Why? There was a big sell-off in this previous week. I opened my crude oil short puts a little bit too early, one day too early, because here we went to lower levels on May 4th here during the reopening of the market at midnight my time. This is 6 p.m. Eastern time. And then we made this nice doji candle. Really, I like these candles because with this big downside wicks, it shows the strength of the bulls. And they were immediately buying in back. Look at this, 50% Fibonacci reached. And this was a previous low point. This was perfect. So now we see a sell-off again. This is just normal. This is acting as a resistance here. Previous low point, 50% Fibonacci reached. Perfect. 74, almost $74. The high point today was $73.89. And This is what I was talking in my previous live streams. You can rewatch them. I talked about these levels, $71 and $73 or $74. This is the target I gave you in my previous live streams last week. So now we see a sell-off here. When the market is selling off, then probably crude oil will also sell off. So I didn't step out of my short put position. It's in the green 55% now. So I opened it here on May 3rd. But yeah, I could take out profits, but it's only a small position for my portfolio, and it's a $53 strike. So it's far away from the current price level. And therefore, I can also do some money just by staying in the position and collecting some 30K. That's the nice thing with options. You don't need to close this position right at the best spot where the best price was sitting, like when you trade a future here. If I would have been long in a future, for sure I would have closed out here at $73.50 and not wait for higher levels. But with a short put position, I can wait and sit on my position here, because I will also make money just by time going by. Okay, this is the most interesting thing. So to see the connections between the Forex, the commodity market, and the stock market. And now let's see natural gas future as well. So, oh no, this is the wrong chart. I opened it already here. No. I have too many open natural gas future charts. Where's the right one? Here. So this is the daily chart of natural gas, and you see we pulled back near the $2 level. So May the 5th, we went to lows of $2.03. And then we pushed back into the resistance zone here between the 9 and 20 EMA level, and were rejected. Today we are trading a little bit lower, 3.2% lower. So yeah, maybe we'll retest this $2 area. This is still 8.5% away, but yeah, there are more than 50% chance that we will see the $2 level again, then trading to higher levels, because you see parabolic is showing us a short trend. So yeah, there's no real strength here. We have lower highs, and therefore I wouldn't step into a long trade right away. Rather wait for a clear bottom to be found near the $2 level, maybe at 180. We never know how low we can sell here, and then step into a long future position, because we can still go back to the $2.50 or even $3 level. This can happen pretty fast, but I would first wait for more signs of strength here into natural gas, rather than trying to catch the lowest point here. Okay, and what else do we have interesting here? Some stocks maybe. Yeah, let's look at Nvidia. So Nvidia is still struggling here at the $290 level. So this is interesting to see on a daily time frame, because Nvidia was one of the leading players here in Nasdaq. And now, while Nasdaq is making new highs, Nvidia is not able to make new highs. So you see, this is the third consecutive day we are trading lower levels right now. So we tried to go above the 290 again, high point $291.13, but we are still below the previous high points. So this 290 and 291 you see here is the highest point from, let's see our weekly chart again, is the highest point we had here in March last year. There was $291.43, and this week we had $292.20. So almost the same level here, and I believe that this is an interesting high point to short. So I'm still in my long position, so if we break through, I will not lose a lot, but if the market will sell off again, then I can make some decent money here with my 230 strike long put. It's still a strong stock, it's still early to enter, therefore I wouldn't short it and go into a short position in the stock. But with a long put with low implied volatility, the implied volatility has already risen, but it is still on a low level compared to the previous trading year. And therefore it is really cheap to enter long puts. And you can profit from two things: higher implied volatility and lower stock price here. Therefore it's interesting to trade options on the long side and buy put options at the moment. The same for Tesla. So we had some strength in the EV market in the previous trading days, but you see Tesla is weak here. You see that we are trading lower with lower highs, and we are still struggling. So there's no sign of strength here on this weekly time frame. Let's go on a daily time frame, and there we see we were rejected at the previous Fibonacci level, sitting here at $173. So this was the high point from the day before yesterday, from Monday, and we weren't able to trade above it. So compared to Nasdaq, again a sign of weakness here. Implied volatility is low, so you can buy cheap puts, the same like with Nvidia, and therefore I already have a position in Tesla long puts, and I will get more as soon as I see more signs of weakness here in Tesla. Gold, also interesting commodity. Gold, let's just see the current gold future, which is June, is the front contract month. So we had a previous high point at $2,085 on May the 4th, where also the crude oil prices had this spike down. So here you see the opposite. There was a spike up because of the fear in the banking sector, and then you see this nice doji candle like we have seen in crude oil, just that this here is indicating weakness. So now we weren't able to go above the previous high points here and closed at almost the same level, and then you see the next day big sell-off. So we often see this here after these big doji candles. So now it's still not, the decision is still not made if we will break out to the upside or to the downside. We are within a sideways trading phase, as you can see here. If I just draw two lines here, it's still not made, this decision. Of course, we can retest the previous high points and go to $2,100. But as soon as the market is dipping into a recession and the stock market will come down, then as well the gold prices will go to lower levels. Look back in 2008, we did this in previous live streams, and we looked in into the financial crisis 2008, and there gold sold off 35%. So I'm not saying that gold has to sell off 35%, but the potential for sell-offs is higher than the potential for higher prices here in gold. Therefore, I wouldn't aim at the previous high points and say, okay, gold has to go back to $2,200. I would rather aim at 1,850 as a previous low point here, or maybe even lower. So previous low point was $1,830, but I would set a target here 1,850, and this gives you a downside potential of 9.6%. So this is more interesting than the upside potential in my eyes. So I would wait for maybe a breakout like this and a doji like this, and then short it there, or a breakout below 1980 and then short it there as a breakout short. This could also be interesting. Yes, you will have less room then to the downside, but this would still leave with 6.7% downside potential here. So not interesting right now in the sideways trading phase, but still on my watch list. Okay, so we went through all major things, just wicks. So wicks on a daily time frame, of course, we are trading at lower levels because CPI is over, fear is going out of the market, but it can come in back pretty fast. So let's see today. You see this big drop after the CPI news were out, and then as soon as there is the sell-off in the stock market, then fear is rising pretty fast. So this is 1 point in VIX, and this is a lot, 16.35 to 17.45 in just half an hour. So this can happen pretty fast, and we can close this gap here. This just happens because there is a trading pause of 15 minutes for wicks. And yeah, we will probably soon get back to the 20 level or even above where we were on May the 4th, the previous time. We were at the high point of 21.33. And if the fear is coming back, then we can be there in 2 or 3 trading days or even faster. So I wouldn't aim at lower implied volatility levels here for wicks, but rather for higher implied volatility when the fear is coming back into the market. But we never know when this is the case and how fast this will happen here. But have it on your watch list and look at the fear of the market. Okay, just one last look on our Nasdaq futures. So we are back at 13,413 points at the previous high points. Let's see if the market wants to go to higher levels, and this was acting as a bigger support, or if the parabolic dots here are now acting as a resistance, and we will see a double top since the market opened. This will be as well interesting, but like always on CPI days, we will always see a lot of implied volatility on these days, trigger some stop losses above, and then maybe go to lower levels and close lower again. You never know, a lot of things can happen on CPI day with this volatility, so be cautious, only trade small positions if you don't want to risk a lot, and therefore stay safe. Thank you for watching today. I hope you got some nice insights, and if you have some more questions, then please subscribe to my channel and watch my next live stream, and then I can answer your questions in the live stream chat. Thank you for watching. See you tomorrow. Goodbye.